Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine. I hope you're all having fun. Been quite a mad time since yesterday. The announcements were made about the double game weeks, and been just working on my strategy and how to kind of navigate them ever since. So hopefully I can kind of give you my insight and kind of my reasons, which I've what are the reasons I'm not kind of using my wild card, and what are the reasons I plan to use my kind of triple captain on Salah. So yeah, I'm gonna talk to you about all of that. So first of all, I'd just like to welcome everybody here: Michael, Smelly Vab, Jeremy, and just I hope you all fine. SH, I hope you all fine, guys. I'm fine, bro. I'm fine. Thank you so much for asking, and I hope you're fine as well. So I just want to kind of, before we get started and into the madness of the double game week, I'd just like to kind of show you the rationale behind my decisions. So this is a kind of a spreadsheet which I made about my own team. I was looking at my own team for Gameweek 26 and then at my team for Gameweek 27. For example, I've got like 3 Watford players who actually play like, Manchester United, like, King and Dennis, they both play Manchester United in 27. Antonio, Jared Bowen, and Sofal play Wolves. Fernandes has a good fixture in Watford, so it's got here. So I analyzed my own team and then looked at my team for 28 and 29, and as you can see in 30, I just got 2 players out of the 15 playing in 30 as of now. It's a big blank game week. So I saw everywhere, all around me, lots of people were kind of pulling the trigger, wild cards and whatnot. I thought, like, it's just, the announcements have come yesterday. It's not enough time to analyze the performances of players, the statistics, and in general, it's just going to be panic if I just pull the wildcard now. So I've decided to navigate Game Week 26, the double game week, with a couple of hits. Maybe 1 hit, maybe 2 hits, and then to kind of use my free hit or not in 27. It depends on a lot of factors, but I thought that I'm gonna possibly wildcard in Game Week 28. So just gonna show you. Yeah, this is my tentative chip strategy. Once I just show you this, and then I'll just come back and kind of start answering your questions and telling you about my own transfers. So in the small double game week 26, which is this one, I'm going to triple captain Salah. An added kind of caveat I can offer is that Salah's on 149 goals for Liverpool. He wants to score that 150th at Anfield against Norwich, against Leeds. With the cup final coming up, I think it's a good moment to be in for Salah. Small blank game week 27. I might use a free hit, might navigate with free transfers. Again, there's a small double game week in 28. I currently am thinking about wildcarding, but as I already said, things can change. Nothing is set in stone, but this is just a tentative. That's the reason I always call it a tentative. In small double game week 29, I might, if I wildcard, I'll use a bench boost. If I don't wildcard, then I'll just navigate it with free transfers depending on the strategy. And blank game week 30, again, if I wildcard, then I'll set up a team in which I kind of can navigate it with the free transfers. If I don't use a wildcard, then I'll possibly have to free hit and then wildcard in Game Week 31. So it's all a bit up in the air at the moment. So it all depends on whether I wildcard in Game Week 28 or not. But I told you both the options. So if I wildcard, I'll be using my bench boost and will be navigating with free transfers. If I don't use my wildcard, then I'll be navigating 29 with free transfers and using a free hit in Game Week 30. This game week I'm triple captaining Salah, so that's kind of the plan. Hopefully it's not too confusing. I'm kind of condensing a lot of information in a small time. So these are the teams with double game weeks coming up. I made this graphic, shared it on Twitter as well. The problem, the big problem with this entire setup was Liverpool and Arsenal, as you can see in 26, have the best fixtures of the double game week, right? But then they don't have a fixture in game week 27. So if you load your team up with Arsenal and Liverpool players, you're kind of setting up you're setting yourself up for the free hit in 27, because if you get 3 Arsenal and 3 Liverpool players, you're setting up your team for free hit. That's the issue. That's the problem, and that's why everybody was finding it so hard to navigate, and then only one team has a double in 27, which is Burnley, and then nobody really wants any Burnley assets. Burnley's won just one game out of the first 21 fixtures, scoring just 17 goals. So the only player you possibly want to get is maybe a Burnley defender or a Nick Pope, and then comes Southampton, Aston Villa, Wolves. So Wolves seem to be the team which everybody can and should load up on if they want to save their free hit, because they've got a double in 26, they've got a fixture in 27, and they've got another double in 28. So Wolves are giving you 5 fixtures in the next 3 game weeks. I think it makes sense to load up on the Wolves assets. Which assets, it's totally up to you. I'd say Jimenez sounds like a good possibility. Even the Wolves defense is really good option. Somebody like Kilman or Roman Saez, Semedo, all these guys. But we don't have enough time to kind of mull through all of these things. But I just wanted to show you this, and wanted to kind of tell you my reasons as to why I've decided to do what I'm possibly doing. So let me just go to pick team, and you can have a look at my current team. And this is I made a transfer of Jota to Saka. I've already made one transfer. I've taken out Jota for Saka. I possibly might make 1 or 2 more transfers. Currently, I'm not on a hit at this moment in time. I'm not taking a hit, right? I'm currently just use my 1 free transfer. I might take a hit. And make 1 more transfer. It could be Antonio to Jimenez. It could be somebody like Livramento to someone like Kieran Tierney to cover the Arsenal defense. It could also be De Gea to Ramsdale. So it could be any of those transfers. I'll mull over it as I talk to you guys, because lots of kind of information to gobble up since yesterday, so I wasn't able to make the final decision. But one transfer that I have made is Diogo Jota out for Bukayo Saka. So with this kind of long monologue out of the way, let me come back and answer your questions. Sam says, hey, should I play Gaita or De Gea? If I was you, I'd play Gaita, possibly. Double game week always. Wiz, do you think Ronaldo will play both 26 and 27? Commenter, honestly, it's hard for me to say that, bro. There have been rumors of a dressing room a little bit of a dressing room unrest with Harry Maguire and Ronaldo on 2 sides, but it's very difficult to kind of say whether he'll play both of them. I think he should. There's no reason he should not, because he's kind of scored a goal, been doing all right, but it's a bit difficult to kind of categorically say whether he's going to play or not. Hey Todd, I hope you're fine. RS says, Wildcard or triple captain Salah? I'm gonna triple captain Salah this week. Oh, sorry, my captaincy is on the wrong player. As you can see, I've been so I'm gonna play triple captain on Salah this week. There's no doubt about that. Norwich and Leeds is kind of just the kind of fixtures we're looking for when we want a triple captain. Would it be better to bench boost for Gameweek 36? I think Gameweek 36 is really going to be a good time to bench boost, right? So it all depends on how your team is structured. If I wildcard in Gameweek 28 and I want to wait for the bench boost in 36, it doesn't make sense, because then I load up my bench with players who have value tied with them, and it's hard for me to kind of get a excellent playing 11 because I've got value on my bench. When you want to play bench boost, you either want to play it and be done with it, just get it out of the way, and then move on to the cheap players. You use a couple of transfers if need be, or you just play your bench boost with cheap players. That's another strategy. Watkins to Jimenez for a -4. I think that's not a bad transfer. Guys, one more thing I want to tell you. I've been, for the last 14-15 hours, I've been totally, I've slept up for 4 or 5 hours, but I've been into FPL, looking at things, looking at fixtures, looking at different teams. So whatever I might say, it's kind of an informed, educated guess. I want all of you to do your own due diligence and make your own kind of transfers and moves, but you can have my opinions, right? Thomas says, wildcard or triple captain Salah? That's absolutely subjective based on your team. you know, because if you kind of, it also, see, everybody's getting confused about the wild card now. If you've used your free hit, if you have one free hit, you know, it makes sense to kind of wild card, you know, and try to navigate the, you know, the upcoming like 4 or 5 game weeks with your, you know, with only your wild card, and save your free hit maybe for the blank, or, you know, or use your free hit, one remaining free hit in 27, and then navigate free hit 30 with your transfers. But if you have your 2 free hits, I don't think it makes sense to kind of wildcard this game week, unless you kind of want to attack this double game week specifically. Hey FPL Chug, I hope you're fine, bro. Shopland says, how many hits are you taking? Is -8 fair to take? It all depends on your own team. I don't want to kind of say that, you know, there's like a fixed number of hits which you can take or which are accepted. You know, if you I just read the news on Twitter. They say Alan Saint Maxima is out of today's game at West Ham. Could be missing for the next 2-3 weeks. Might be not be a bad idea to start Sofal then. If Saint Maxima is injured, like, he's their mojo, you know, a bit of a mojo, so might not be a bad idea to kind of put Sofal in the team, possibly get Ramsdale in place of De Gea. Anyways, I'm just gonna keep thinking over stuff. But Alan Saint Maxima, anybody, if you own him, is out for 2 or 3 weeks. That's the news on Twitter. Ronaldo to Jimenez, Jota to Saka. Ronaldo to Jimenez, Jota to Salah, Gallagher to Saka. I like those moves. You know, just know that Saka is going to be blanking in 27. Otherwise, I like those moves. Thoughts on bringing Weghorst in for Watkins, since Weghorst is fit and Watkins might not play? I think Watkins is going to play, even if Danny Ings is back. I think he's still going to play. Watkins is going to play, but I don't. The thing with Weghorst is, you know, he's new to the Premier League. He hasn't scored a goal. Yes, he's got 1 assist, but the Burnley's fixtures are not the best, you know. It's kind of a 50-50 decision, my friend. But yes, he does have like 4 fixtures as compared to Watkins 2. So that might be the only reason you might want to go for him. Start 2. Bruno, Bowen, Watkins. Bruno and Jared Bowen. Did you see Trent and Robo not starting today, supposedly? Sam, I haven't been paying attention to all these leaks, because I don't think that, you know, these guys know much. The only people I trust is are the ones, you know, which actually, you know, which are ITKs. For example, you know, there's Sam Martin for Leicester, there's Spine Corp and all these guys, which actually give you reliable information. So as long as we don't know who the information is from, you know, then it doesn't matter. Start De Gea or Foster. Ari, as you can see, I've put Foster in my team. I think Foster is the better option. RA says, guys, one more thing I'd like to request you. I'd absolutely like if you can ask me pointed questions today, like specific questions. Just writing your team, and, you know, it's really hard for me to process it. I'm honestly been, you know, doing FPL research all day long, and I'm a little bit kind of, it's hard for me to read the entire team and give my opinion on that. Just a request. Would you play Dyer or Ramsey? I'd play Ramsey against Watford. I think Ramsey. I'm getting Salah, Saka, Weghorst, and Sias for Ronaldo, Jota, Bilva, and Lowton. I'm not sure if you know, it's the right kind of idea to transfer out Bilva. I think you can keep Bilva. I think he'll start. It's viable, definitely viable, but not sure if like those transfers are required. All of them. Maybe you could do with a -4. Should I get Robo or Virgil van Dijk to pair with Trent? Actually, technically, Robertson is obviously the better option, but you need to know that they're blanking in 27. If you have a contingency plan, then I think Robertson is the way to go. And if you can afford him, you know. What's your transfer? I transferred out Jota for Saka. Might make one more. I think I will make one more. I've just got 6 double game week players, you know, and 3 out of them are like Watford. So I think I need more cover, a little bit more cover to kind of navigate this game week. Big Palace reporting that Elise and Edouard are benched for today's game. So there's lots of news popping up that Elise and Edouard are benched. Take it with a pinch of salt, but this guy is reliable generally. Let me post the link so you can do your own due diligence. You can kind of read here. I posted it in the chat. Bruno to Son for a -4. If you want, you can do it. I mean, the thing is, it all depends on what you want to kind of, Fernandes has Watford next week, so if you don't want to free hit next week, then you can keep Fernandes. But if you kind of definitely free hitting next week, then I think Son is a viable option. Yes. Do you think Robo will play both games? Who knows? Ray, nobody can say with any fair amount of certainty. They've got a cup final coming up. Maybe Tsimikas can play one game. So that makes me think that that Virgil van Dijk is more safe as compared to Robo. Are you triple captaining Salah? Yes, I am triple captaining Salah, Sir Froze, yes. So basically, if anybody has got a West Ham defender, I think this is not a bad week to start him, because Kieran Trippier is injured and Alan St. Maxima is out now, so could not be a bad idea to start Dean, Sofal. Don't like having 3 West Ham players in the team, especially in a double game week. So, but then the only way to kind of save myself from this problem is to take out Antonio for Jimenez. I want Arsenal cover as well because there's loads of people who've got Arsenal defense, and some have even kind of doubled up on the Arsenal defense. So that's a little bit tough. Kind of decide, but I want an Arsenal defensive cover. I don't necessarily want Jimenez that much as I want an Arsenal defensive cover. The problem is, if I get an Arsenal defender, then I'll have to bench Sofal, which is not the worst thing in the world, but yeah, it's still a little bit concerned because Alan St. Maxima missing means that they can't play on the counter attack Newcastle. So all they can do is to kind of sit in a deep block. And Kieran Trippier means no free kicks as well. Pedro says, hey Wes, my only selection headache is Dean versus Cancelo. I know Cancelo is the standout option, but your thoughts? If I was you, I'd start Cancelo, my friend. I don't like to kind of overthink on these kind of options. Dean is good, but when compared to Cancelo, I would always start Cancelo. Maybe Dean has the easier fixture, which is making you think that way, and you're not wrong. But if I had this option, as you can see, I'm even kind of putting Dean on the bench as in front of Sofal at this moment in time. Maybe the reason is I've got two Watford strikers, a bit of a conflict of interest. Hey, are you going to triple captain Salah? Yes, I am. I am going to triple captain Salah. Mbumo, Jota, Watkins to Salah, Brosha, Ramsey. I don't think that's a bad idea, my friend. I think that's fine, in my humble opinion, yeah. So yeah, at least we got one news from Twitter. Hopefully we'll get some more. Once you go to Twitter, guys, it's absolutely hard to kind of, not think about wildcarding or going gung-ho crazy everything, because everybody on Twitter is going crazy at this moment in time. It's hard, honestly, but sometimes you need to hold your nerves, and just navigate. Babin, after the end of the stream, you can have a look at when I started. I discussed my chip strategy in detail. I think we're a little bit short on time. So generally I'm just thinking free hit or navigate 27 and wildcard in 28, but it's a long kind of strategy. Sam says Antonio. Geeta says hi Sam, Watkins or Antonio to start? Antonio, I think honestly I'd start with Antonio. He's got the better fixture. The problem with Watkins is many people are saying he may or may not start. If you've got Jared Bowen, then you can start Watkins, I'd say. It's a bit subjective. It depends on how many West Ham players you already own. Left, right, and center, messages. I never received so many DMs on Twitter as I have today. Honestly, it's absolutely going crazy. The thing with getting... So if... Do I need Son in my free hit? I think you should. If you're free hitting this game week, I think you should, yeah. You know, Son has got a double game week. You know, one of the fixtures being Burnley. And Son historically has a good record of scoring against Burnley, although they'll defend for their lives. But, you know, if you're on a free hit, I still feel you should take a chance. Triple Arsenal, triple Liverpool, you know, Son, all these guys, Rafinha, you know, you definitely need to kind of put them in. Good morning, Noah. I hope you're fine. Triple captain, says Moon. Next time, guys, I should kind of put, you know, I should write in the top box, you know, like what my moves are going to be, because having to answer the same questions a lot of times, I'd say, just makes it a little bit boring. I think from next time onwards, I should put up a kind of a notice board or something, you know, on the side of the screen where I write notifications or you know, this is moving messages. I should put my moves in there. Just for me as a Villa fan, Ings and Watkins don't work together. Ings will start, so if Watkins does as well, it won't go well if it makes sense. That is fine. I mean, I've not seen them play together as much as I wanted to. But you know, as if you watch their games as per the eye test, if you feel that way, then start Antonio, bro. My bench, Gaita Bilba, Sofa, Livramento, is bench boost viable? I think it's not a bad bench boost, not the strongest, but if you want to get it out of the way, you can do it. The thing is, Livramento is not starting for Southampton. You know, Kyle Walker-Peters is kind of taking his spot, and on the left side, Perrault is starting, so that'll essentially reduce you to maybe a substitute appearance for Livramento, or you know, maybe 3 players. Wes, do you think Weather should bench boost with all the news this morning? Liam, it depends on your team, my friend. I mean, there's going to be lots of opportunities in the coming game weeks to bench boost as well. So it's not like that, you know, this is the only double game week, so you can possibly wait as well. You can admin pin the triple captain pick. I can pin it. I can pin it. Triple captaining Salah. There you go. I'll write it and I'll pin it, so everybody shall know. Hopefully it's pinned. Yeah. Then says, for my free hit, I have 4 midfielders with Saka, Salah, Son, Bowen. Should I remove Bowen for a double game week? I don't think so. I think you should keep Jared Bowen. It doesn't make sense to kind of take out such a good informed player. N says, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. No problem, my friend. You're welcome. Hey, Robertson, triple captain, good idea. I don't think it's a good idea. If you've got Salah, there's no point in triple captaining Robertson. If they prove me wrong, they can prove me wrong. But technically, if you got Salah, I wouldn't triple captain Robertson. What 3 Liverpool players would you have on a free hit? What 3 Arsenal players? 3 Liverpool players would be Salah, Trent, and you know, one more defender. You know, if you're kind of a little bit scared of the rotation of Robertson, it has to be Robertson, but you can put Virgil van Dijk, you know, just because if you kind of feel that he's gonna get rotated. Arsenal players, I'd say Bukayo Saka, Lacazette, and Tierney. Yeah, Saka, Lacazette, and Tierney on a free hit. If I was on a wildcard, I'd possibly not put Lacazette in there, but if you're on a free hit, I'd say the only Arsenal striker gonna start both games on penalties, Lacazette is a definitely a good option. Heath says, any news on Bowen to start? I haven't heard any like reliable sources on Jared Bowen. Heard rumors that injured or whatever. But who knows what's gonna happen here. Just kind of scourging through Twitter. See. Just give me a second, guys. Yeah, can't find any particular news except the Alan Saint Maxima one or the Elise and Edward ones, but I have to keep looking. No. Anyways, I'll come back and answer your questions, guys. I think that's more important at this moment. Babin says I played Bowen. Mate, I don't own Saka. That's fine, my friend. Saka is like not essential, so you can, if you have Arsenal defense, that's absolutely fine. Do you think Maddison will start? To be honest with you, my friend, it's been like a while since I've given a thought about Leicester at all. But let me check my list to see what I've written in that. Sorry if I sound a bit stressed, but been kind of reading all day since yesterday, ever since the double game weeks were announced. So apologies if I kind of sound a bit tired or stressed. So Leicester, let's give me a second here. Leicester. In my notes, I do expect Maddison to start. A little bit of a doubt, but I expect him to start. I mean, there's a temptation for me to kind of make more transfers than I actually have to, looking at my team, Smelly Web says I'd play Bowen. Do you think Maddison will start? But then I don't like taking too many hits. I totally agree with that, Smelly Web. The thing is, this game week is different. It's because like we see people taking like -20s, -12s on Twitter, especially with so many people messaging me. It sometimes plays with your head. Aaron says, hey Viz, what do you think of these transfers? KDB, Jota, Antonio out for Salah, Saka and Weghorst. I think that looks good to me. If you could just do Salah and Saka and that would be fine as well. You could even think about Jimenez. Bench 1, Cancelo, Coutinho, Brocha. I'd rather bench Cancelo than the other two. Am I mad? Benching Cancelo, I just can't. I don't know. It's hard for me to kind of advocate benching Cancelo. But if you want, you can think about that. I mean, Brocha, you can bench Brocha or Cancelo. Maybe I'd still play Coutinho. Has a pretty high ceiling these days. Cancelo or Dennis? Cancelo. I don't know, guys. This is like these questions because defender, comparing a defender with a striker is like really hard. But I'd say Dennis has got a double game week. Potentially play Dennis. Maybe bench some other player. Play Cancelo as well. Ooh. What are your thoughts on people activating their wildcard? Yes, chips are team dependent, but find this peculiar. They're activating it. Most of the people who are using their wildcard, I'm not saying all of them, but most of them, they are actually, most of the people who are using their wildcard are the ones who've used their free hit, one of their free hits. So they're using their wildcard to kind of navigate they navigate their like 26 to 30 with the use of only one free hit, because they're kind of scared of both the blanks, and they want to attack the doubles as well. So I think for those who they just used their one free hit already, I think that makes sense for them. With people who have two free hits, I don't think that they need to wildcard. Who would you play, Laporte or King? Yeah, the thing is, guys, comparing defenders with strikers, you always start your strikers. Technically, but I mean, even if it's a Manchester City defender, if it was Cancelo, I'd say Cancelo, but I've already given my explanation on why people are using their wildcards, guys. It's dependent on their own chip strategies. Another news on Twitter says Kieran Trippier has been ruled out with a fracture of the 5th metatarsal. Average recovery time is 80 days. Well, there you go. So Kieran Trippier is obviously out, and so is Alan St. Maxima. Just give me a second here. Alright. I transferred out Jota for Saka, and I possibly gonna make one more transfer, maybe two, who knows. Come the end of the deadline, I'd tend to go crazy and maybe make one transfer. I think I'm definitely gonna make. The second one is a bit subjective. I transferred out Jota. I should have written it in the pinned message. I transferred out Jota for Saka. Would you go Kane, Coutinho and Dubravka, or Weghorst, Son and Sa? Kane, Coutinho, and Dubravka seem to have more upside, I'd say. Bro, benching Delama, Cancelo, or Foden. Wow, this is crazy, man. I mean, how could you guys have such strong teams that you've got to Delama off benching Cancelo or Foden? It's insane. I'd say play Foden if he starts. It always has more upside, you know. This has no right answer. If you ask me which Manchester City defender or a Watford striker to play, guys, there's no right answer to this. It's based on instinct. Do you still believe Arsenal will get top 4? I believe they have a chance. I mean, you know, I believe we have a chance, especially with Manchester United and Tottenham faltering. I think we do have a chance. Yes. Shall I go with your earlier suggestions, Jackson? You can, you know, because keeping James doesn't make sense to me. You know, I think Chelsea's got blanks coming up anyway, so better to kind of, you know, utilize that money to get Salah. Foden, Cancelo, Rafinha, Tomiyasu, Watkins, Weltman. Which 3 to play? I'd play Tomiyasu. I'm not even sure if he's gonna play. He's injured. He's been injured. Cancelo. I'd play Cancelo, Rafinha, and Foden. Possibly. I'm worried not owning Saka. Don't worry, guys. I mean, we can't have all the players. There's no point in like fear of missing out. FOMO is the worst type of psychological barrier in this game. You know, just saying. Yeah. Who to ship out for Salah, Ronaldo or Bruno? I'd say Ronaldo makes more sense to ship out. There's, you know, I think there's cheap strikers which can give you some value here. Bruno or CR7? I'd say the way Bruno's been playing, looking better. Any outside cap suggestions? This game week, no outside cap suggestion. Captain Salah. Keep it simple, guys. Keep Odegaard or take him out. I'd say keep him. I think he'd play. Bowen or Foden to start? I'd start both of them, but if I had to choose one, I'd say Bowen. Jared Bowen. Just give me a second, guys. And he says, is it better to bring Jimenez for Antonio now or in Gameweek 28? I'd say if you have Jared Bowen, it's not a bad idea to kind of bring Jimenez in this game week. You know, he can cover the hit. I think he can cover the hit. Please show us a free hit draft or mention must own players. Dexter, I've already kind of gone through it, but I'll just tell you quickly. Just go with triple captain Trent. I'd say Salah. If I had the option, I always say Salah, guys. I am a conservative type of a manager, don't like to take too many unnecessary risks. Dexter, I'd say 3 Arsenal players, 3 Liverpool players, including 2 defenders and Salah. Saka, Tierney, Lacazette. If you want, you can go with Ramsdale as well. Ditch Tierney, but you know, that's my opinion. But then you should go with Son on a free hit. Possibly, you know, one of the Wolves defenders in Kilman, maybe Semedo, Roman Saiz, whichever you want. That's the basic framework. Keep Jared Bowen as well. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it says Reguilon to White for a -4. I think that's not a bad move. It's you know, it's gonna help you in the long term as well. Reguilon is not nailed on. Worth transferring out Sofal for a Wolves defender or a -8? I don't think so. You know, if you want to keep the thing is, guys, you ask me a question, right? For example, if you want to transfer out Sofal for a Wolves defender, I need to know whether you're like, you know, what's what are you doing in like 27? Do you plan to free hit? Do you plan to like keep your chips? It's very hard to categorically give you the right answer, but I'm just trying, right? Trying my best. Smash the like button, says Jack. Thank you so much for the shout out, bro. It's a bit a bit tough today. Start Cancelo or Watkins? Technically, I always tell you to start the striker. In this case, you can make an exception because there have been rumors of Watkins being out. But if he's out, then Cancelo automatically comes in. It's bit touch and go, this one. Honestly speaking. Yeah, I might even. I'm gonna make more transfers. After 5 minutes, I'm gonna start focusing on my own team and just start, kind of make my transfers. Would you get me or Cody Kilman for a hit? I'd say the Wolves defenders make more sense. Ben Mees, I know he's got 4 fixtures coming up, but the fixtures are pretty tough. I expect them to concede against Tottenham. So it's a bit subjective, but I'd say Wolves defender is a bit better than. Just give me a sec. Let me have a drink of water. I hope your days get better with Arsenal win today. Thank you so much, Adam. Would love an Arsenal win today. Please help. Would you start Rafinha or 8 Nori? See, they're both double game week players. I'd technically start both of them. There's no point in benching a double game week player. I was looking at a replacement for Jota other than Saka. Cornet, I'm not sure if he's exactly fit, gonna play both the games. I'm not sure. You can think about Saka, and then there's like it's Jared Bowen. I think you already own. There's not many options in midfield for this double game week, to be honest with you. Weghorst or Broja start. Weghorst, if you have him, then obviously you have to start him. Viz, what other transfers are you going to make? Are you using your free hit in 27? Currently, I've not booked using my free hit in 27, so I'm thinking about it at the moment. As you know, it's not locked in, but I might use it. It's subjective. Trent. Sorry, I'm on Twitter. I'm just checking, like, somebody, like, people are just actually making up rumors, and this is so annoying, especially when when you're on the stream and trying to kind of sift through for news. Anyways, best striker under 7 million. I'd say Armando Broja because he's cheap and he's scoring goals. I'd say Broja is really good. Which Wolves defenders to get? Saiz, Semedo, 8 Nuri or Kilman? I'd say Kilman is the most nailed on. Saiz is the most attacking in terms of goals. Those are the ones I'd look at. I have 2 free hits and a wildcard plus triple captain, but I don't know what to use this game week. I have only 8 double game week players this week. That's absolutely fine, Sudeep. If I was you, I'd possibly think about triple captaining Salah because, that's what I'm personally going with. I've got like 6 double game week players at the moment, and 3 out of them are Watford, so I'm looking at a big red arrow anyway. Absolutely a bit touch and go for me this week. Over Saka. If long term, then yes. If you don't want to use free hit in 27, then yes. Otherwise, Saka's got a double game week, which is pretty good. Then what to use next blank game week? If you can't field like 10-11 players, then use your free hit. Then or maybe take a couple of hits and field 10 or 11 players. This is what you need to plan for, like way ahead of these deadlines, guys. This is kind of long-term strategy. Also, shall I start Brownhill? I don't see much upside starting Brownhill unless it's like a 4. Suggest me a Jota replacement. I already said Saka. is the one which you should be going for. Other than that, Arsenal doesn't have Son. Maybe if you don't have Son, you can think about going with Son. He's got a double game week, although not the best games, but it's fine. Now there's like rumors on Twitter like Trent is benched. I will never believe these kinds of rumors. Sorry. Went to Rope and Rafinha. You can get him in Gameweek 27 if you want to. Especially if you're not free hitting. Do you think Fernandes can outscore Son? I don't think so. I think he can do all right. Fernandes outscore Son? I don't think so. The problem with Leeds, reading Leeds is Leeds have been so erratic, like going away to West Ham and beating them, and then going away to Aston Villa and drawing there. But then again, losing an easy match. So Leeds are difficult to predict. Absolutely horrible to kind of be an FPL manager and predict a Leeds performance. Virgil van Dijk, Weghorst, and for Reguilon, Antonio Berthuis. I'm not sure. It looks fine, to be honest with you, Achitan. The thing is, Weghorst, I'm not sure about his upside. What's up, Wiz says Programmer? I'm fine, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Tarun says, really pissed last night, took a -16, now having a FOMO of not wildcarding. See, -16 in my opinion is like at par with a wildcard. So if you kind of took a -16, it would have been better to wildcard, because, like 16, 20 points, people seen on Twitter taking hits of 20 points. I think they're very hard to claw back unless you have like, an absolute banger of a game week. But then when you're wildcarding to have a banger of a game week, then long term you don't have a good team, because you're making a team using your wildcard for one game week, which doesn't make sense to me, at least. Son and Weghorst or Kane and Cornet. Son and Weghorst, I think, because Cornet I'm not sure is going to play both the games 90 minutes. George says, hey, Wiz already did Jota and Ronaldo to Salah and Jimenez. That's fine. Can feel 10 in 27, 4 in 30 at the moment. Should I do Alonso to Wolves defense and not free hit 27-30? Worry about. Well, you can get a Wolves defender next game week as well if you don't want to take a hit. If you have a good team, George, you can kind of save your transfer. You can take 2 hits and field 11 and save your free hit. That definitely makes sense to me. Don't need to bring in a Wolves defender even this game week if you have a good team right now. Just saying, Thanks, Wiz, all the best. You're welcome, my friend. Yeah, definitely welcome. 15 minutes to go, guys. I'm gonna start focusing a bit on my own team as well, so I apologize in advance if you're not getting any answers from my side, but we've got like a beautiful community, people helping each other out in the comments. I really appreciate that. Roop Kamal says, hi Wiz, Watkins out for Jimenez for a -4 hit. I think you can, yes. Aman says -12 or a wildcard. -12 is not a problem. I think -12 is not equivalent to a wildcard in my humble opinion. I think but that's the threshold for me. If you're having to take more hits, guys, listen. If you're taking a hit for players, that is absolutely fine. But remember this, that it should be long-term moves, not just for one game. Don't take hits for one game. If you're taking hits for one game week, then I can't advocate for that. Todd says, do you think Mane will start both the games in? Todd, I'm a little bit skeptical. I actually posted on Twitter in the group. There's a website, an Egyptian website, which always kind of writes the team which they think is gonna play in. Let me post the link here, so you can translate that and you can read for yourselves. This is the link. You can all kind of. Oh, it's not letting me post it. Anyways, so that Egyptian website says that Salah's gonna start and Mane is gonna start one due to the final, but not sure how accurate it is, you know. But livefpl.net, Raga Bali says it's generally accurate. I think, yeah, we've got like 14 minutes to go. I need to start focusing on my own team, guys. Locked on for Strala triple captain Wiz. Absolutely, Barry. Locked on. Thank you, Wiz. You're welcome, my friend. Aman says thanks. You're welcome. I'm just glad to be able to help as many as I can, guys. Why is everyone taking Cancelo out? God knows, Marco. I don't know. I absolutely have no idea. But I wouldn't take Cancelo out, even if he has a difficult fixture. I mean, Cancelo is the kind of player which you always keep. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just kind of focusing on my own team a little bit now. I need to kind of fix my team because there's people. Hey, let's play Brocha or Bowen. Bowen. I think Bowen. Bruno or Ronaldo for Salah. If you're not having to take a hit, then Ronaldo. If you're having to take a hit, then I'd say Bruno. But long term, I'd say Bruno is more capable than. Bruno is more capable than Ronaldo. Been looking sharp. All right. 12 minutes, 13 minutes to go, guys. I absolutely need to focus on my own team now. So just let me go to the transfers page. Let me see which page I'm on. Yeah, I'm on pick team page, right? Let me go to the transfers page. So basically, you know, the entire thing is I feel that I should have an Arsenal defender, or I should kind of take out Antonio for Jimenez. That's the plan. Could do both as well. The Arsenal defender that I want to go for is kind of Kieran Tierney. You know, this is one of the more attacking players. The problem with this transfer generally would be that you know, I would have like Saka, Salah, Trent, and I'd have 4 players who have a blank game week, and then I'm going to be relying on Demarai Gray injured. Then basically, if I get another Arsenal player except Ramsdale, maybe I'm booking a free hit in 27. That's the only issue with kind of playing this way. So there's one thing which I can possibly think of doing is you know, just taking out Antonio for Jimenez, because Antonio's been like doing next to nothing, you know, and expect him to kind of bank after I take him out. So like you can see here, you know, like absolutely, you know, just after game week 3, this guy has been just absolutely doing nothing. Like he scored 4 goals in the first 3 game weeks, and ever since then, for the last like 21 game week, he scored 4 goals. So there's no FOMO of Antonio. 2 everywhere. It's like 2s everywhere, maybe a couple of 5s and 7s, but you know, it's not like the end of the world. The problem is the guy which I'm thinking of getting Jimenez, he's similar to Antonio, you know, as a matter of fact, like he's absolutely similar. He scored like what, 5 goals all season, you know, like 2 minus 2 2 1 0 5 6. I mean, it's not like that he has a big ceiling. The only thing is he's got a double game week, you know. That's the reason I've been thinking at the back of my mind. Refusion says, Viz, make your choice. I'm gonna make my choice, my friend. Just taking my time. I'm just thinking out loud so everybody can know and see what I'm thinking, what I'm doing. I'm just telling you at the back of my mind what I'm thinking. You know, Jimenez might have turned a corner. And even Wolves, they won against Tottenham, which was a really good win. You know, they've been doing all right. So there's something to think about. The problem is I don't own an Arsenal defender. You know, the expected ownership of Arsenal defense is going to be very high. So that's another FOMO. Time to lock and load, says Smelly Web. Trossard out, Corne in. I wouldn't do it. Not sure Corne plays both the games. Thinking of now doing -8 for Moura and Alonso to Saka and Gabriel. Will need a free hit 27, but I have 6 players already for 30. George, it's absolutely you know, team dependent. If you think that's a right move, I think you can go for it. Start Ramsey or Bilba. If I was you, I'd start Bilba. He scored in the Champions League. So, anyways, let's focus on the team, guys. It's not the easiest decision to make. All I can say is, you know, I'm keeping Fernandes. Initially, I had a thought of moving him on for Son, but that's not what I'm gonna be doing now. You know, so that's out of the window. Um, the only thing I can do is like the thing is if I bring in Tierney, which I really want to, I'll have to bench Sofal and Dean. You know, like that's absolutely uh not the right thing because so either Jimenez has 2 double game weeks. I know that. I know that. I am thinking about it. Thinking about it. If I wildcard in 28, it won't make a difference in the end anyway. But if I possibly bring in Jimenez now, it might save me a double game week. You know, like so. Let's say if I bring in Jimenez, don't like taking too many hits is the problem. You know. Let's say if I bring in Ramsdale. I mean, if I bring in Ramsdale, that gives me Ben Foster as a keeper next game week if I don't want to free hit. That's the only thing. But if I bring in Tierney, it gives me the added advantage of an attacking option. You know, that would mean like benching Sofal, benching Dean, which is maybe not the best thing to do. Shall I transfer out Foden or Jota? Obviously, transfer out Jota. I'd say that's the easiest answer I can give you. This is not gonna be easy. I can tell you that. Logically, you know, I should be bringing in Ramsdale because you know he's a long-term option. 2, he gives me the option of like you know keeping my free hit next game week. That's one thing that I could do. This always happens, by the way. You know, at the end I think too much and end up confusing myself. Maybe it's it's the result of discussing too much about FPL. For the chat start, I don't have time for chat right now. Are you triple captaining Salah? Says Refusion. I am triple captaining Salah, guys. I am. What's the upside of Saka or Coutinho other than the double game week? The upside is that Saka might get a double game week in 28 against Chelsea as well. So that's another one. And I'd say, I don't know, they're both good options technically, but and they both play in 30. So the only thing is 28 double game week if they get a double game week. Smelly Web says I decided on Antonio to Jimenez. I think that's a good decision, Smelly Web. The thing is I need an Arsenal cover in defense. If I'm transferring out Antonio for Jimenez, that's absolutely alright. The problem is I'm gonna have to stick with Foster. That's not the best kind of thing to do. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm not answering any more questions. I need to focus on my own team, and I really apologize for. Please, if you can kind of answer each other, it would be better because it's close to the deadline. I need to kind of make decisions. Don't want to leave it too late. So no Ramsdale. Okay, I'd say no Ramsdale for me. It would be a difficult decision even to choose whether to play Sofal or Dean. But I'd say no Ramsdale. 2 minutes, Wiz, please. There's 5 minutes left, Refusion. Don't worry about it. Just give me some time. I'm just thinking, my friend. It's 5 minutes left. I'll lock my teams in the next 2 or 3 minutes. But, at least I'm telling you I'm triple captaining Salah, so that's something there. If I kind of bring Jimenez for Antonio, who plays Newcastle, or he might get one last dance. The next game week, Wolves play against West Ham United, right? So let's say I just keep Jimenez, and the problem is Arsenal defense. Everything else is fixed and locked. The only problem is Arsenal defense. I need cover in the form of an Arsenal defender. Eduardo Laporte. So basically, so what happens if I bring in Tierney? I bench Sofal or Dean, right? Let's assume if I bring in Jimenez, would I be playing Sofal then, or would I be playing Dean? That's also another question. You know, if I bring in Jimenez, I don't think that's worth a bench boost. Basma, no, it is not. I guess we should get moving and lock, guys, right? Because we need to time to as well select the team. So if I Ramsdale, Antonio, I'd say let's get Jimenez and Ramsdale both. What happens if I get Jimenez and Ramsdale both? I'd say let's get Ramsdale and Jimenez both. The thing is, I don't like playing that way. I get to play, and I think this is not a bad idea. If I get both Jimenez and Ramsdale, that'll save me from free hitting. Like if I don't want a free hit in 27, the downside being if I want a free hit, then I'll be wasting my transfer. Anyways, I think it's time to lock the team. I think everybody's kind of waiting. You know, so if I get Ramsdale and Jimenez, I think this is the best option to go for. Antonio, right? Let's go for it. Don't I need to fix my team as well. You know, everybody's kind of waiting. So now the Sofal is in the team. Now the only decision left for me to make is whether to play Dean or Sofal. Because I've got two Watford strikers. Luka Dean obviously has more upside. I'd say let's just play Dean. Not sure actually. This is a very difficult one, but I have to put Ramsdale in place of Foster. How crazy would it look if I forgot to do this? Anyways, let me refresh my team just so that everybody can see. Just have a look. I think Sofal or Dean is the only decision that I can't make. I've locked my team. The only last minute decision I have left is, you know, whether to play Dean or Sofal. Newcastle don't have Alan Saint Maxima. They don't have Alan Saint Maxima. So maybe Sofal has more upside, but Dean is on like set pieces. It's a bit difficult, to be honest with you. Very difficult to decide. But I don't think it's gonna make or break my game week anyways. So guys, at least consider this team to be locked. You know. I honestly think that it won't make a big difference. I don't think Sofal is like worthy of scoring like what Todd says Sofal, Smelly Web says Sofal, and now the deadline is passed. Whoa. Anyways, guys, anyway, I don't want to kind of fret over too much. I've been absolutely going crazy reading FPL, making decisions, and in the end I decided to take a -8, although I said to myself I should not take hits, you know, but in the end what I thought about De Gea was, you know, I don't want De Gea long term. I want Ramsdale, whether I use a free hit in 27 or not. I still want Ramsdale long term, and isn't this the best game week to kind of you know, it's a double game week for Ramsdale. So if it's like a hit which will cost me what, like 2 points, that's the reason I went for Ramsdale. At the back of my mind, I possibly thought of keeping Antonio one more game week, but then I thought, like, I've been sticking with Antonio for such a long time, And even if he scores like 1 goal against Newcastle, it won't be the end of the world. George says only have Tierney. That's awesome, my friend. That's absolutely awesome. I would love to own Tierney, but I wanted to keep options open for myself so that I don't have to. I don't force myself to free hit next week. You know, that's the only reason. That's the only reason I did not. I did not get Kieran Tierney. Otherwise, because the thing is, right now, let's see if you look at my team. Foster's got a fixture next week. King has got a fixture. Dennis, they all got Manchester United, so possibly I'll move one of them on for Broja. Jimenez has got a fixture, so that makes it 3. Jared Bowen's got a fixture. Sofal's got a fixture. Dean's got a fixture. Cancelo's got a fixture. Fernandez has got a fixture. So that already makes it like 8-9 players which have a fixture, and making 1 or 2 transfers, maybe taking 1 hit, I can save my free hit. Maybe move on Salah for 1 game week for Son or whatever, or there's like 100 permutations I can use. And then if I want to wildcard in 28, I can actually take some risks in 27 or dead end my team in 27 possibly. That's the reason I went for Jimenez. I even thought of going for Rafinha for a second, because Rafinha's got a fixture in 27, but I thought that's like going way out of the plan. So anyways, guys, the deadline is past. There's no point in kind of mulling over too much stuff now. I've been doing it since yesterday, and I was no closer to the solution than I was yesterday. I've been, as the Twitter FPL Council members will know. Thank you for the stream, says Cinema Crazy. You're welcome, my friend. Smelly Web says great stream. Thank you so much. Smelly Web. He says much more flexibility in your lineup. That's exactly what I thought about it. And even in game week 28, these Watford strikers have a double game week. So if I don't even want to wildcard in 28, that at least gives me something to hold on to, right? And but I not ideally not the most attacking player, but I think I need to be a little bit more proactive on using my chips and not just hoarding the chips, trying to save them all the time. But I think this game week they gave us very less time to make what can you call them, like they gave us very little time to make educated decisions. So I wanted to give myself a little bit more time, and now I have that time. Even this game week, after Sunday, the next games are on Wednesday, so that gives me a lot of thinking time to watch the players and to make decisions. So I looking at my team, I've got King and Dennis, both my strikers playing against my defender, a conflict of interest. Jimenez playing against Ramsdale, a conflict of interest. So we can hope that he scores against Leicester, blanks against Arsenal. Ramsdale keeps a clean sheet against Brentford and concedes against Wolves to Jimenez. So it's all like all these little tiny details which cannot be sorted out at the very end. But George says free hit 27 will depend on Everton versus Manchester City. Will be behind the sofa for that one. Well, George, if you really want a Manchester City player, for example, you can just take out Salah for 1 game because it's like a hokey cokey. But that's absolutely subjective. Nobody can say what to do at the moment. By the way, guys, how many of your players are playing today? Have you noticed? This is going to be absolute carnage. Here, let me show you. You see, in tomorrow's games, I've got Jimenez and Bruno Fernandes. That's it. 9 of my players are playing today, guys. 9 of them. And the last game, guys, I just have Cancelo. So look at what's going to happen here. In this game, I've only got Jared Bowen, right? This is the game in which 8 of my players play in the same time. At the same time, in the same it's like gonna be match of the day, or you can just have to keep an eye on all the scores. It's gonna be absolute carnage on Twitter as well as on on FPL in general. But it's gonna be fun all the same. Never like the slow dripping a single fixture kind of FPL. I was always a proponent of just having all the games together and just having fun. But I also want to say, guys, I don't want to do predictions today. I've been very tired. Been a very hectic stream, not just vocally, but mentally as well. And so I have to just go, take a sip of a cup of tea and just relax before the carnage starts. That's all there is to it, right? Todd says, I like that. You probably won't have to free it in 27. It will be worth more later. Todd, it's subjective as to if I want to wildcard in 28, I can dead end my team with a couple of hits in 27. I can go crazy with my decisions, maybe like get Raheem Sterling in place of Salah and whatnot, and then wildcard in 28. So that gives me some options at least. It's not like that you get points for keeping your chips at the end of the season, and I think I've been a little bit conservative with my decisions over the years. I tend to try to save my chips as if they're ingots of gold, but I think we need more time to decide rationally. Since yesterday I've been thinking about a lot of things, but I think we need more time to figure out the exact long-term strategy. It's not like game week 35 and you can get away with making wrong decisions on your wildcards and your chips. That's one thing. So I wasn't gonna be forced into a chip strategy just because they announced it late and everybody's using stuff. I always had a plan to triple captain Salah against Norwich and Leeds. Whether it works out or not, that was the plan, right? And I would be absolutely happy if Salah can just get a goal today itself and ease the nerves so that I'll know that my triple captain has not kind of flopped. And after that, against Leeds, anything he gets would be a bonus. Smelly Web says, rest up, Wiz. Shopnan says, are you free hitting in 27? Not necessarily, Shopnan, but I'll let you know. Don't worry about it. So George, if you're on Twitter, you can send me a DM and I will add you to our private group that we have on there. I think it'll help you over these coming double game weeks. Anybody who's active in this chat and joins streams regularly and likes to take FPL seriously, I'd like to add you to that FPL private group we have on Twitter. So but I just want you to be active and contribute, not just ask questions, but share insights and actually contribute by doing some research so that we can all benefit from your insight as well. So George, if you want to join, I'd like to welcome you to the group. Just send me a message on Twitter and I'll add you there if you're on that platform. If not, we're always meeting up on the deadline stream. Good luck, guys. Hope we get a green arrow. Well, good luck to you too, Shopnan. In hindsight, I should have sold Moura for Saka. Can't see how Saka doesn't pay it back over the next 5 weeks. Well, George, you can easily mend that in Gameweek 28. It doesn't matter now, but you can easily kind of change that in Gameweek 28, and hopefully Moura does well. Sometimes Moura has a tendency to do well in these streaky kind of games, when he goes on a run and scores for a couple of games. So hopefully Moura does well for you. May the hours be green, says Lightrays. Lightrays, this is the first comment I'm seeing from you, bro. Maybe I missed some earlier ones, but welcome and thank you so much. So guys, with this we come to an end of this edition of the double game week, double trouble deadline stream. It was absolutely crazy, carnage, a little bit stressed out, but hopefully you had fun all the same. And I'll see you around for the next deadline stream. And if you do want to connect with me, you can follow me on Twitter. I keep posting throughout the game week and give all the updates that I possibly get. Alright guys, so thank you so much for being here with me, and I hope to see you all soon again. Take care, may the hours be green. FPL Visit signing out. Bye bye.